Good evening. I'd like to call the March 6th Board of Education meeting to order at this time. And the first item on our agenda is to approve the agenda as presented.
Move approval.
All right, got a motion? Second. All right, got a motion second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All in favor of this motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right. Item number 3 is the minutes, approval of the board minutes. I'll let y'all have a minute to look those over, and then I'll entertain a motion to accept.
Move to accept.
All right. Got a motion? Got a second? I think I heard a second. Okay, all right. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of this motion say aye. Aye. All right. Motion passes. All right, item number 4, discussion, no action. I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Stan Hudson, P.S. Jones Middle School, Memorial Park.
This is not a matter that requires anything on your part, but we wanted to just keep you up to date on what's going on, particularly if you've driven by there to see some of the work being done.
The bids were received and the contract was down. We didn't have enough money to do a complete project, so it's been broken down into a few different processes. It was awarded to give Stocks and Taylor permission to proceed with the base bid of $169,700, and that was to do the walkway and the pavilion, which would be phase 2 of the project. Phase 1 was the restroom that was provided by the city. So, and our part has started. They started demolition last Friday, and they started pouring concrete today. They poured, I think, 20 yards today.
KB Reynolds money, right?
KB Reynolds money, that's correct. No school funds involved. I'm just managing the project. So, any questions? It's a little over a quarter-of-a-mile walking trail. Somebody that's not aware, but there's a quarter-of-a-mile walking trail, a pavilion, and a new fence in phase 1, and in phase 2 will be a playground area, and then whatever in the future. So,
What's the timeline on the completion of the first phase?
but we didn't ask for a completion date. The rate they're going, I'd say probably 2 weeks, and we'll be done.
Okay.
Other than the pavilion itself has a 3-month lead on the metal structure coming, and they said it would take about a week to put up the erect structure.
Okay. But they should be able to use something by pretty well.
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Okay, all right, good enough. No more questions for Stan on this item? You might as well stay right up here. Item number 2, all right?
Yep. Give y'all an update on where we're at with our capital stuff. Southside High School cafeteria storefront project. They're scheduled to start tomorrow, weather permitting on it. The bricks were supposed to arrive this afternoon on their freight truck. The plans is to have it completed by this Friday. And then I have AAA glass scheduled to start the installation of the storefront on Monday. And then hopefully the next Friday, Lewis Roofing will take down the temporary wood structure and return the wood back to plant operations. Eastern Elementary Playground, that project's been underway for just the second week. They hope to have it completed tomorrow afternoon. If not, first thing Thursday morning. This rain this afternoon's put them off a little bit, so didn't want to damage anything, so they pulled off. We uncovered quite a bit more of the glass in the underdoing and the way they locking the keys in, which the fabric folds over. So they decided to bring in sand instead of mess with any of that used dirt. They're just hauling it off site to get rid of it.
How far down is the glass?
We took 26 core samples, and it was up to 20 inches deep. Every core sample we had glass in all 26 samples.
Unbelievable.
And those were all around the school?
They were all in the playground area over that 1 acre place that we're
Right.
repairing, but it makes no sense why there's so much glass, and only one piece of metal's been found in all of our digging and everything, and it looked like a bit off of an auger of a ground boring bit. It's the only piece of metal we found on the site.
Just glass.
Glass.
No arrowheads?
No arrowheads. No green tops. Technology's server room project that's currently being worked on with Mr. Mark Roy, doing our structural engineer design of our foundation. Spoken with the city of Washington. Everything's on go as far as elevations and staying out of the floodplain and staying out of the flood zone. Everything will be going on. It's going adjacent to the freezer location there at my facility. Roofing projects, we have 2 projects currently out, expecting those bids in March 9th, and they're due here at 4 p.m. And so I'll have the next meeting, I'll have those to present to you, I hope. I plan to have the other RFPs ready to send out by the end of this week, and then I plan to start on the asphalt RFPs, getting those ready to send out. And just to update, we have received our third Clorox 360 machine. It has been sent to Northside High School. And after talking with Ms. Cindy Edwards, we will, of course, spray anywhere that we have any infections or anything that's reported to them, but they plan to work on the weight rooms and athletic areas on a weekly basis. The chemical's good for up to 7 days, so if they're treated once a week, we'll try to keep all that stuff knocked down.
Refresh my memory, how much does one of those machines cost?
Right at $5,000, $4,999.
But they are worth it, right?
Well worth it. They've been seem to really, really knock our flu down, and our cases went out the bottom. So, and the public and everybody is very receptive, very thankful. Off work and at work, I hear a lot of positives thanking us for being proactive.
Money well spent.
Yes, sir.
And it's going to be effective for things like MRSA?
Yes, that's what we're doing. The weekly treatment is good for that, and we're doing it at our high school levels where they're doing the daily contact with our weight equipment and stuff like that. And we're going to do locker rooms, of course, at high school level.
That's going to be my question.
Yes.
Are you going to go in?
They're going to do the weight room at the high school level. Weight room. Washington is the only one that has it outside the school, but they're going to. Miss Cindy asked them to do that once a week, so just in a proactive measure.
We've got it, we might as well use it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I agree.
Any questions?
Any more questions for Stan? See you now. Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
Okay. All right. All right. Revision to policy 7410. Mr. Mark?
Yes, sir. This is the first reading for the revision to teacher contract policy 7410. You may remember this contract policy was up earlier this year from the School Board Association. Gave us the opportunity. This is the first time since the General Assembly changed the way that teachers are awarded contracts, that this coming year we can award more than a single year contract to our employees. This doesn't change anyone if you already have career status or tenure. This doesn't affect you in any way. You still continue to have that as long as you're employed in the same system that gave you that. These are for individuals that don't have career status. Some of the folks have been with us at this point now 7 years because they started with us when that career path was changed. But this applies to those folks anyone who doesn't have career status. And we have met with our principals. We've met with our teachers of the year. We've also had our principals disseminate this to staff and gain feedback. We've talked to adjoining adjacent school systems about their plans. And as I mentioned when this first came up, there seem to be two schools of thought. Some school systems where obviously I have to be employed with a school system for 3 consecutive one-year contracts first. That's true of everybody. So if I'm a new graduate or I'm a 30-year veteran from next door and this is my first time in Beaufort County, doesn't matter, I've got to have 3 one-year contracts. That's true across the state. It's what happens next that each school can decide. And the School Board Association offered various opinions about what we should choose. We talked to our principals, our staff members, our teachers, and what you have in front of us is the general consensus and the best policy that we think we have. And essentially what would happen is we would define good standing, and it is defined in paragraph C. A teacher is considered in good standing if they have or at least a rating of proficient in all the standards on their most recent summative. They've successfully completed a monitored or any kind of directed or mandatory improvement plan if they were ever placed on one. They've not received letters of reprimand or any other relevant documented disciplinary action in their personnel file during the school year, have not received a demotion or suspension without pay, and there's no other relevant performance or conduct information that would support not giving them a multi-year contract. So assuming they're in good standing, they've been with us for 3 consecutive years, then we would award them a 4-year contract, which is the highest amount of years we are legally allowed to award. If you're someone who's worked with us in the past for 3 consecutive years, you leave, you come back, then as long as you're with us for 1 year on a 1-year contract and you're in good standing, then we could give you the 4-year, which again is the most we could do. So this is the policy for first reading, and happy to entertain any questions.
Anybody have any questions? Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I wouldn't know what to ask you. All right, move on down to action items, early college, high school enrollment. Dr. Fick.
I wanted to bring this before you as an action item, hopefully for your consideration and approval, and that is that we increase the cap the maximum number that we've got at early college, and the recommendation is to increase that by 25 students. That number right now, the cap that's in place that they've been working with has been roughly 65. This year they accepted 55 students, so that number would be somewhere between 85 and 90 in a given year in terms of where we are. I've talked to Principal Peck. I've also talked to Dr. Loop, the president of the college, and they feel like starting it at that point with their incoming freshmen and growing our program from the freshmen as they matriculate through with incoming freshmen each year is the best way to manage the growth. So I just wanted to ask your consideration and hopefully get a motion and approval for her to be able to do that. Doesn't mean that she would go that high, but she'd be able to go that high. The Innovative High School program, the way it's designed, won't allow them to have a class bigger than 100 anyway.
A grade level.
Per grade level.
And her facility will be able to take care of
Yes,
this?
yes. We may have to add additional roving person on the teaching side, but we would have to do that anyway, depending on the student numbers.
Okay.
Does she have applications to justify
I think her number's at 151, I think is what she told me. Now, they probably won't all qualify, but she has a large number of applications.
So you're wanting us to approve an increase of student enrollment in the incoming freshman class by 25?
Right. That would raise the cap that we're operating with. She wouldn't be able to go over 90.
Okay. I make a motion that we do as you have requested. Do I have to restate it?
No. I'll second. As long as Lisa's got it right, that's all that matters. Okay.
Increase the enrollment
All right.
of the incoming freshman
Second.
class.
Okay. All right, we've got a motion and a second. Any more questions for Dr. Phipps before we vote?
How is that going to affect the classroom layout, setup? The freshman class, I mean, they currently have, what was it, you said 60, 65
Yeah, 55 in this year's class.
55, and they have so many per class. Are we adding more classrooms, more teachers to instruct the
Add
increase?
a teacher.
Ms. Pank indicated that she would like to have an additional roving teacher, and I think that would help mitigate the class sizes. We're only talking about the freshman class, so the individual would be for the freshman students. Of course, that individual is not going to teach all the subject areas, but trying to manage class sizes the best we can. I can't tell you what they are right now. They will increase a little bit given the fact that we'd have increasing numbers, but having an additional staff member there should help offset some of that.
And you said that Dr. Luke indicated that he has room to give
Yes.
us additional
Yes.
space.
Okay. Any more questions before we vote? Okay. You've heard the motion. All in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Okay. All right. Item 5.2, Aurora Land Use Agreement. Mr. Marks.
Yes, sir. Last year, we, with the help of Kim Edwards, School Board Attorney, Esquire, we were able to negotiate with the town of Aurora a one-year land use agreement for the lands that surround Snowden Elementary School, and we had asked that the town extend this to a longer period of time, and we were waiting for them to meet, vote, and decide, and they had. And they actually had sent the paperwork, and it just needed to be changed to reflect changes on our board in terms of difference in chair. And they have extended the exact same agreement that we had for the past year for the next 10 years, which is essentially the land that surrounds Snowden Elementary. We would continue to be responsible for the mowing contract that we picked up last year. There would be certain rights where the town has first right of refusal on certain things, where the school has. But it's essentially the exact same land use agreement we have in place, just for 10 years instead of 10.
Okay. All right. Move approval. Move approval.
Second.
Got a second? Okay. All in favor of this motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. All right, Dr. Phipps, field trip.
5.3 is an out-of-state overnight field trip, Southside High School, to participate in a band competition, Baltimore, Maryland, the 10th through the 13th of May. You see the number of students there. We have the appropriate number of chaperones, and they'll be going via charter bus. I'd like to request approval for that.
I actually didn't see an attachment.
I think it's
Scroll down.
under executive
Scroll down a
content.
little further.
Oh, I don't think mine's going to go down that far.
It's under the content.
I got you.
Executive content. Okay. All right. What's the feeling of the group?
Move approval.
All right. Got a motion? Second?
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of this motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Item 6, I need a motion to go into closed session.
I move that we go into closed session pursuant to General Statute 143-318.11A1 to prevent disclosure of confidential personnel files under General Statute 115C-321, and in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege between the attorney and the board, which privilege is hereby acknowledged, and to formulate plans relating to emergency responses to school violence.
Okay, all right. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. All in favor of this motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed? We are now in closed session, folks.
You better look out for the beard.
Yeah, me. All right, we're back in open session, and next item on the agenda is personnel that was presented just shortly ago. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
All right, got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? All right, all in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Next item is the calendar. Dr. Phillips, I'm going to let you handle
I do
this.
want you to look at that. A couple things. We've got the dates that we have for the month of March. We have a meeting on Monday that will be a special call meeting for budget session, and then we have our monthly meeting on the 20th. However, if you move forward to the month of April, the first meeting that we have scheduled falls during the time period of spring break. We have several folks that won't be here. I'll be here. If you want to meet, we can. My concern is there will only be 1 week from the time that we met before, and then we're out. There won't be any personnel action or anything like that likely to take that would be going on. We'll have additional meetings during the month of April for budgets. So would you be okay doing away with the work session in April? We keep the other meeting the date that we have it in April.
This.
I'm sorry?
It's not up here.
I don't have the April
okay.
calendar.
At one point,
I was just wondering myself.
yeah. At one point, we discussed possibly having that the last week of the month prior to spring break. Is there not enough time to work it in there?
Well, you would have a board meeting on the 20th, and then you turn around and have another one the very next meeting.
There's not
Very next
in
meeting.
March, the last week in March.
I thought we had one scheduled, no, something else.
We got one Monday already.
We have one on the 12th, and then you have your regular board meeting for the month of March on the 20th.
And you're just saying skip over to the 10th.
Right.
Or sometime, or whenever.
Well, you've got one on the 17th, but we'll likely have another budget meeting sometime that's that week of the 9th in April, which will be an opportunity to come together. And then we normally have the joint meeting with the commissioners sometime the last weekend in April.
What's the feeling of the group? You okay with skipping?
So you're talking about our regular meeting instead of the 3rd would be the 10th?
No, the regular meeting would still be on the 17th.
But you're saying if we have one, would you schedule
talking
it
about
the
the
9th,
first
the week
meeting
of
of
the
the
9th,
month.
maybe?
If we have a meeting, it will be scheduled the week of the 9th, and it will be a budget meeting. It wouldn't be a
We could
work
include
session.
anything we
You
missed.
could.
Right.
You could.
I'm
Okay,
fine
all
with
right,
that.
that's fine.
So now back to Carolyn's question, we still having a meeting on the 3rd.
No, that's the meeting I'm talking about not having.
Oh, okay.
That'd be spring
All right,
break
that's
week.
fine.
Okay.
Because I have that one on my calendar.
Right, that would be on, we would combine whatever a work session would be in that budget meeting on the 10th.
On the 10th.
Now, if you wanted to move them just a week back, ahead, you could, I can't be here on the 10th, but you could meet on the 9th and the 24th if you just want to have 2 meetings in the month of April. We'll probably have to have an additional meeting for budget when we get to that point.
Well, if we're going to meet with the commissioners possibly on that last week, I would think we need to iron some things out prior to that last week,
Why don't you
correct?
do that then, Don? Just go to the 9th and 24th.
With the 9th and 24th
We'll
work?
have something to talk
The
about.
9th being the work day, the work session, and the 24th being the regular
Coming
April
back from
meeting.
spring break, the first day of a meeting.
Won't make any difference.
Could we move that 24th? Could we do it to 26 that week? Would that be a problem? Is that an issue?
Not me.
2 nights over on Thursday.
We're supposed to have a thing that night, but we can skip that.
Y'all split it out? You need,
We've got an EMS thing that night, like I said, we can skip that.
what time is your EMS?
What's that?
26.
We do it
Oh,
on Monday
yeah,
night.
come in.
Well, if we meet at 5:30,
Do it
we'll
on
be
Monday night.
done on those.
All right, how about 5:30
Yeah.
on the 26th? Can we do that?
Well, what about the 9th and 23rd on Mondays?
I can do that.
23rd would probably be... 23rd or 26th?
23rd, we're here.
I'm just looking at, they're trying to get that ORED study group to come back, and the two dates they were looking at were the 19th and 23rd, and I haven't heard which of those they've picked yet. It could be they picked but that was going to be at 2
But that's in
o'clock.
March.
That's right, that's in March. Disregard that.
All right.
You want to say, that's sooner than later.
You're right.
Okay.
But I did want to ask you one question about the meeting, since you're doing it right now. Since we meet at 5:30 for most of our meetings, would it upset anybody if we changed the workshop meeting where we go at 5 to 5:30 and just meet at 5:30?
I asked Mac that at the beginning of the meeting.
Yeah. Just
We
move them all
move
to
it
5:30.
Just move them all to 5:30?
That would tickle me to death.
Me too.
Okay.
All right. So,
So what dates we're looking at in April?
here what dates?
Would the 9th and 23rd work?
About the
What
same
for me?
time.
Or do you prefer the 9th and 26th?
I can do either one.
Either one.
Can we do the 26th if y'all don't mind?
That's fine, Matt, with me.
If that's all right?
That's fine.
I would greatly appreciate
Then let's
it.
do that.
So the meeting that was originally on the 3rd is
Right.
being moved to the 9th, and it'll be at 5:30.
5:30.
Okay.
And the meeting that was on the 17th is now going to be on the 26th.
And we'll try to work. Where's your
At
meeting?
5:30.
Where's that meeting on Thursday, that Thursday night, the 26th? Where's that located?
My meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, it's in Pine Town.
So you, if we can get out of here. by
Yeah,
7
if
or
we're late for that, that ain't no big deal.
Okay. Appreciate it. Okay.
And we will have another joint meeting with the commissioners at some point, and we'll probably have to have another budget meeting once we get things put together.
But right now,
But I
all
don't
you
have that
worry
right
about is be back Monday at 5:30.
Monday, 5:30. That's all we need right now.
They'll change it.
All right. Anything else for the calendar?
Do we know anything
The 9th and
about,
the 26th.
Yes.
Yeah, 26th.
do we know anything about, you said the joint meeting with the commissioners is still up in
I don't
there?
have a date for that
The,
yet.
the Orient, whatever it
It's
is.
either going to be the 19th or the 23rd of
Okay, that's
March.
still up in there.
I asked them today, they're in D.C., and once I get that, I'll send it out to
I
you.
got you, thank you.
Okay. Anything else on calendar? Dates? Board member updates? Anything?
I went to, last night to community college, they were doing a career in college promise, presentation for all the schools in the county, or actually all the schools in the service area. I was really impressed, really good turnout from students and parents from the school, around the county. But I was extremely impressed with the presentation, and just, I strongly recommend any parents to consider going that route. That's a good, look into it at least.
Okay. Anybody else?
And Washington High School's doing their musical end of this month. Is that correct? Beauty and the Beast, is that right?
It is the end of, yes.
In March?
Yeah, end of that last weekend.
Okay. Do you have any dates on that? I should know.
Well, can you get them for us for Monday?
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's the
Yeah.
23rd, 24th, and 25th, I
Sounds
believe.
right.
It's a
Okay.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, if I
I'm
remember
sure it will
correctly.
be fantastic.
It's always good.
Always
I
good.
said the last week, but not this, actually the 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
And Mayor Michael's a fork.
A what? A fork?
Fork.
All right.
I wanted her to be a spoon, but she got the fork.
That'll be cool. All right. Superintendent update?
Just want to share with you, our school system will be hosting again the RESA Regional Job Fair. That's going to be on March the 16th at the community college. Become more and more important that we reach out and try to attract as many teachers as we can, as we've discussed what our personnel needs are. Also, for the first time, we're putting together a STEM Expo, kind of pattern after our Ag Expo that we do. This is a collaborative effort between our school system, the Washington Police Activity League, Beaufort County, and the City of Washington. It will be on April the 20th at the Washington Airport. So we're excited about that. We're hoping to have 500 students from surrounding counties this first time. And I want to say thanks to our law enforcement partners. The last 3 weeks have been difficult in terms of what we're dealing with the kinds of threats or communications maybe that don't turn out to actually be threats, but things that we have to take seriously. And our law enforcement has done quite a bit of work behind the scenes. The public will never know the work that they've done to be diligent and to help ensure that our schools are safe. And I just want to thank them for the efforts that they've made, and for parents who have helped us out to share the word with their students that there are certain actions and behaviors that they cannot engage in that are threatening by nature, and I just want to thank those who have helped us take care of that, but certainly law enforcement for the way they've jumped on things and taken it very seriously.
What time is that STEM Expo on the 20th?
It starts at 10 and ends at 2.
Can we get Lisa to send us out a reminder?
We will.
Okay. Anything else? Any board member have anything? All right, I don't have EC. I I need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All right, got a motion second. All in favor, please stand.
Took her job.
Aye.